Do you have a dirty little secret? Welcome to the club.
And you're all invited.
The first rule of the Dirty Little Secrets Club is tell everyone about the Dirty Little Secrets Club.
We're handing out memberships, free of charge.
Step up to the VIP line and let Dana and Brimstone take you on a weekly ride of secrets and debauchery.
Now buckle up, Buttercup, because things are about to get heated on the Dirty Little Secrets Club.
Hey guys, welcome back to a spooky episode of the Dirty Little Secrets Club. I'm Dana Pereira.
And this is Brimstone.
It's not really a spooky episode, but it is the episode right before Thanksgiving.
Watch
Jesus
this, watch this.
Christ.
Boo.
Yeah, there we go. Now it's spooky.
Now it's spooky.
It is the episode before Halloween is what I meant to say.
And we are both Halloweenies. Okay.
We are, yeah.
Because it's the Dirty Little Secrets Club. So we got to put weenies or boobies in there somewhere.
By
the way, boobies. I did that hosting gig. I don't know if I mentioned to you on this past Friday. And what do you call it? My the opening band. So I hosted for one of my old dear friends. What do you call it? Their Dormitory Effect, all female band. And they haven't played in years, and it was their 20-year anniversary. So what do you call it? It was just, I had to do it. I had to be there. So I was home. Danielle and I went. It was fantastic. But the opening band, they had a song, Dana. It was called Boobies.
Shut up.
Big and small. I love them all. Boobies! I was like, oh my God. Dana would love this song.
I absolutely would love it. It might be my theme song.
It could very well be. It was hardcore. What do you call it? I'm gonna have to grab it and send you over a copy. I have the CD in my car. They gave it to me.
CD. Oh my God! I have not played a CD in maybe a decade.
I know, me neither. What do you call it? It's crazy. And earlier that day, I did a photo shoot. I needed to clear my head. It was one of those months, and I went with JR, who's one of the guys I want to do our shoots with when you come here. And what do you call it? I just had to say this because you would have lost your gourd. We did our shoot Sleepy Hollow. Shout out to Sleepy Hollow. Then we went and we stopped off in Nyack, which is like a town away. You know what I mean? Or a town or two away. And we had lunch. And then we went into to my car. I opened the hatch so this way he could put his stuff away. And I got into my car. I sat down. I started programming back home, blah, 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 blah. Then he gets into the car. So I was like, okay, all right, let's go. We start driving 2, 3, 4 miles, 5 miles, 6 miles, get onto the parkway, another couple of miles. I go to merge because I have to get onto another parkway. And I look out to make sure there's nothing coming behind me. I go, where's my back window? What the hell? I was like, had this crazy like warmth come over my whole body and started shaking. I said, JR, did you close the hatch to my trunk?
Oh my God.
Before you got in the car? He goes, huh? Oh my God. Pulled to the side. I had my backpack with a lot of stuff in there, including a lot of money because I hadn't taken it out to, after last appearance. And I had, my bag with all of my clothes, everything, my new, jacket from Spirit Hoods, like my hats, everything there. I pulled over. Thank God, nothing. I don't know. Somebody was watching over. So that's your spookiness. Something was watching over me because nothing was lost. Thank God. So, JR, I love you, but I would have had to kill you.
Yeah.
Had to kill you. Can you imagine? You would have lost it, right?
Well, okay. So, yes, I would have lost it. But something kind of similar happened to me whenever I was transporting a dog to the vet. Luckily, I had the dog. So I have like they're like leashes that you put on the back of the headrest. And then so that way the dog can move around, but they can't like jump into the front seat or, stuff like that. So it was when I had Mildred, and I had Mildred in the back of my car. Somehow, some way, a button was pushed while I was driving, and the back thing, it was like, it looked like the thing had come up. but it was actually the window had gone down and I
No.
freaked out,
Oh my God.
pulled over in the middle of driving. And I mean, she was fine. She was secured in there, but Jesus, that was terrifying.
Isn't that crazy? Like when you think you're about to like either lose something or something that you care about's in danger, or like all of a sudden you get this crazy warmth over you and you go, oh my
That's
God.
what made me think of it, was that warm feeling that just goes the whole way down your body when you're like, oh, fuck.
And it
Yeah.
starts up in the top of your
Yep.
head. And it goes,
Uh-huh.
oh my
You know
God.
what? Every single person listening right now knows that feeling. They've had it before. They're
Oh
being
yeah.
transported to the time when that feeling took over their body.
We want to know about it. Hit us up on social media. Let us know your stories about that, because let me tell you, this was, it does not happen to me often where some crazy thing like that, it happens. It might not sound too crazy, but trust me,
Oh,
with
that's
the
just
amount that I had to
crazy.
lose,
Yeah.
it
That's just
was
crazy.
it was crazy. What do you call it? Well, that's what I was gonna say. That Thursday, today's like one of my favorite days of the week
Yeah.
because I get to see you. Oh,
Aw,
my sister from another mister.
jeez.
Got to see you. I miss my Dana. What do you call it? And I was thinking about you, one, because I again watched another two episodes of that show,
Potential.
High Potential. That woman, I swear to God, reminds me of you every single time. Like her mannerisms. I swear she's watched the Dirty Little Secrets Club and all of your other shows and is like, I'm
You
going to
never know,
model
she
my
might have.
character. I'm going to model my character after Dana Pereira. I'm telling you, one day, and it will happen. I will be with her, or you will be with her at a convention or on set, and I'm going to be like, so anyway, also, what do you call it, in the news? And I know it's a little bit of an older story, but what do you call it? It just came to light again not too long ago, but it has to do with 50 Cent. Now,
Ooh.
I love 50 Cent. I think he's
I'm like,
fantastic.
don't tell me some shit's going down with 50 Cent. Please. He's safe, right? Like he's not
He's safe.
canceled, right? Okay.
He's safe. But you and Fiddy have such a divine sense of pettiness, like petty revenge.
Love some petty revenge.
And I
Okay.
knew you would love this story as soon as you heard it. So I know I sent it to you, but I was like, I hope she doesn't watch it
I
because
didn't
that's
watch
good.
or read because, life. So so please enlighten me.
So basically, what was going on, and brace yourself for this. When he and Ja Rule were having that back and forth, and this was old, they had a big beef with each other, and it was
Mm-hmm.
a lot of back and forth. What do you call it? At some point during that, he was, I don't know if he said he was with his sister or friends, whatever, and they were showing him what Groupon was, I guess, and he's like,
Uh-huh.
oh, that's interesting, and they're like, yeah, this and this, and he goes, wait, do they do concerts? They sell tickets for concerts on there? And they're like, well, yeah. So they looked up, and he looked up Ja Rule, and he saw that his concert was on there, and I think he said they were like $15 a ticket or whatever. He bought out the first 4 rows of the concert so that there was nobody in the front rows.
Oh my God.
And he said something along the lines of like, well, we'll see what kind of a performer he is now. Now there's nobody up in the front.
Oh my God. Okay, you know what? Here's the thing. I want to like I do love the idea behind that petty revenge. Like
uh,
that is some gold right there.
yes, yes.
However, being a concert goer myself, I know those rows were not empty. Anybody that saw that there was
Yeah,
rows, they fucking scooted their asses up there. And I know this because I have snuck into the pit so many times at concerts just because I'm a female and I have tits. And yes, I did use that to my advantage.
I'm
But
sure.
my sister, I remember we went to a concert. Oh my gosh, I want to say it was like Lady A. It was like a country concert.
Okay.
And she just grabs my hand and walks me straight past the security guard into the thing. He tried to stop us and we just blended right into the crowd. He was like, wait, I need to see your brace. And we were gone. We just like fucking vanished into the crowd. And we were up
Disappeared.
at the front. I couldn't pee for hours because I was like, I can't leave because if I leave, because I was too scared. If I leave, then I'm gonna have to come back. So
That's
I just like
hilarious.
sat there at the front row of the like up against the stage, holding my pee because I didn't want to leave.
You could have, I mean, depending on what you were wearing, you could just went there.
Right? Yeah. Just scoot under the
Just
stage
pull,
and
just pull a
squat.
little thing aside and just let it flow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. The what do you call it? Listen, I gotta believe though that until people realized that nobody was showing up, then nobody probably tried moving because it was so empty that you know what I'm saying? Like then it's really obvious if you're trying to
Yeah.
get down to the front. So
Dude,
at least for a little while, but you know that he had people come
but you
towards the
know what the
front.
flex is? You want to know what the flex is on that one?
They spent the money to do it.
He not only did he spend the money to do it, Ja Rule saw ticket sales and was like, fuck yes. People showing up to my show like I'm still relevant. And then then there were 4 rows of people not present.
So it's so fucked up. It's great. But he's like, yeah, it only cost me like $3,000. I was like,
I am curious if like what Fitty knows about Ja Rule because I mean there's been he was in prison and stuff, right?
yeah, I
Yeah.
think actually, I don't know, maybe,
I'm pretty sure that he was
maybe it's
in
possible,
prison for a while.
very
But I'm
possible.
curious because Fitty is very, very vocal about how he's been screaming about Diddy for years and years and years with all of
This
that
is true.
shit.
This is
Yep.
true, and he just put out that new documentary, or it's coming out very shortly
I think it's coming out. Yeah.
about this whole scandal. There's also that thing about the old Abercrombie CEO who is no longer with the company, obviously,
Mm.
and supposedly, I mean, allegedly, we got to say allegedly,
Hmm.
he ran an international sex trafficking enterprise targeting vulnerable men.
Yeah.
So, I do you know anything about that one?
I don't know a whole lot about it.
Okay.
I did see the headlines come out this week about him being indicted. So he's indicted for an international sex trafficking and prostitution empire. And
Wow.
it just blows my mind that yet another person who was big, has a lot of money, is in power, is being indicted for fucking sex trafficking.
Yeah. Did you see that I think it was Netflix special on Abercrombie and Fitch? Did you
No,
ever
I
see
didn't
that?
watch it.
Oh yeah,
Uh-uh.
yeah, yeah. You might want to steer clear of it then because it's pretty disturbing.
Is it? Well, that just
Yeah.
makes me happy that I used to steal from Abercrombie and Fitch and not buy things.
Dana, you never did such a
Listen,
thing.
I did because the statutes of limitation is up. So whenever I was in high school, my high school was super richy, and I've definitely talked about it on the show before, like
Mhm.
back whenever we had secrets like being written in.
Yeah.
Um, I used to have holes in all of my sweaters because my high school was very rich and I was not rich. I was very poor. So I would go into Abercrombie and I would like make a little hole in the sweater and pull it over the tag to get the tag off of it and then like wear it out or something. Because I mean, I was a teenager that really, really, really wanted to fit in. And at that time in my
Mhm.
life, it was you had to be wearing Abercrombie if you wanted to be considered like one of the cool kids. I didn't want to look like one of the poor kids. So
Right,
I
right, right,
did.
right.
I stole. And
Listen, we all do things. We all do
yeah,
things. I get it. And what do you call it?
at least I wasn't running a fucking sex trafficking empire, Mr.
Yeah,
Abercrombie.
that would be that would be pretty bad.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I listen, you know, it's crazy because so many of these people now are really like things are coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, the internet, man, the internet is absolutely been a big help on a lot of this stuff. This
Yeah.
super sleuth thing. Did you see? You know, I don't know if you saw this, but I'm going to mention it also. I know we didn't have it down in our notes for today, but did you see about the dog that the state trooper found in Florida, and the
No.
guy that the owner he he was fleeing to Atlanta to get away from the hurricane. He
Uh-huh.
took the dog, which he supposedly was trying to get rid of somehow for a month, is what it said, or is what he supposedly said. And he took it and he latched it onto a fence and
I did
left it there
see.
to die.
I
Left it
did
there to
see that.
die. And then the water was up to this poor baby's chest. And thank God that the state trooper found it and rescued it. Now, apparently, what do you call it? They put it out there on the internet, and the internet super sleuths found the guy. They arrested the guy, and now he's being charged. And he's going to get at least 5 years for the
Good.
shit that he did. And in a positive news, the dog is now apparently he has thousands of people that are willing to adopt and give him his forever home.
That's
So I
wonderful.
figured you would like that part of it. Yeah,
Yeah, that people
absolutely
are
crazy.
fucked up whenever it comes to animals. Just fucked up.
They also did, I don't know if you heard here on Long Island and in Manhattan and so forth. You know that old scam that they used to have years ago where one car would be following behind you, then the other car would be going in front of you, and you would stop short, and then, they would be behind you so you can't get away, and they would stop short so you'd hit them, and then they would pull over and come out with holding their neck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So these people have been trying to do that around in New York, and people now have dash cams. So
Uh-huh.
what do you call it? As soon as they came over, they saw that there was a dash cam. They ran to their cars and took off. Well, they put it out, and super sleuths of the internet
They
found the car. They found the car. They trashed the car, and they sent everything through to the police. I don't know if they've caught those people yet, but I'm sure they will because
Dude, the
that
internet be interneting. Like there are definite super sleuths out there. There was also that guy, he was oh gosh, I want to say maybe a Ravens fan, and there was a Commanders fan walking down the street after a game, and he just starts beating the shit out of him, like looking. He was actively looking. He's on camera, actively looking for a fan from the other team that he could beat up. He finds one, beats the shit out of him. And the internet saw the video, found out who he was, wrote his job, found out who his parents was. Shocker, he's a trust fund baby who was just like rich and fucking entitled and decided that he was going. And now that guy's being charged. So thank you, internet. Sometimes you do good things.
Sometimes, I mean, most of the
Sometimes.
time it's freaking toxic as sin, but
Yeah.
sometimes we get some good out of it, and that's a
Yep.
positive. One of the things lately, you know how I do a lot of the conventions and so forth, and I do panels and all
Uh
that
huh.
stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen this before, but since it's spooky season, and of course, Elvira is all things spooky, and as Cassandra, I've known her for many, many years, and
Yeah.
one of the things that kind of shook me a little bit because I was really disappointed in the fact that she's having an issue, or she had an issue with Ariana Grande, which I don't even think was an issue because knowing Cassandra, she was probably just like, all right, whatever. But somebody asked a question. They were asking about interactions and weird interactions with other celebrities,
Uh huh.
and Ariana Grande had come up in the conversation. And again, I actually really like Ariana Grande. I've never had an issue with her.
Yeah.
I always thought that she, was a very talented young lady, and
Mm-hmm.
never an issue whatsoever. That being said, even the fact when she was with that when she got with the guy, the co-star, the one who did SpongeBob on Broadway, who
Right.
by the way was supposed to do Grindhouse Radio and didn't, so that pisses me off. I feel that even though she knew what the situation was, or maybe she didn't, he's the one that did what he did to his ex and his kid. So you know what I mean? Like I can't even fully blame her for that. I feel that she's got a piece of my like what the hell kind of a thing, but it's more on him than her. Would you agree or not?
Um, I mean, I don't know the situation, so I can't really throw in too much of my 2 cents with that
Okay.
one because I don't know what he told her. I
Right.
don't
Well, that's the
know
thing.
if maybe their marriage was on the rocks and they just hadn't gone public with it yet. I don't know
Don't know.
if he's a fucking piece of shit. Like, I don't know. So I'm like,
Well,
man, their
what
business, their business.
their business, not our monkeys, not our circus.
Right.
However, when Elvira was asked about this thing, she's like, "Well, funny enough, there was a thing with Ariana Grande, and she was, telling them that she had a show and so forth. I don't know where it was. I didn't read that far into that part of it, but what do you call it? She had gotten a call, just like, I'll make a call if I want to go somewhere. I can't necessarily go in through the front door at all things, and I ask for professional courtesy. So what do you call it? Ariana Grande or her people, I'm assuming her people, contacted Elvira and her people and said, "Hey, Ariana would love to come to your show. She'd like to bring 20 people with her. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
just two or three, it was 20. So they were asking for 21 tickets. So Elvira, of course, because she's so sweet, was like, absolutely, no problem. We've got it. So her
Yeah.
people gave her the tickets. When they got there, Ariana asked, "Hey, would you be so kind as to take photos and sign autographs for them as well?" So she said, of course, and she signed pictures and what do you call it, did autographs and took pictures with everybody. So after that, Cassandra goes over to Ariana and she says, "Hey, do you think you and I could take a picture, together as well?" And Ariana looked at her and says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't do that." And what do you call it? And she left. And she left before the show even started. So I found that to be so disrespectful and so upsetting. Now the flip here is that when that went viral because everybody's like, "Whoa, what's going on?" I know Cassandra as a person. I know that she meant it, just as telling the story. I don't think that she had any kind of real disdain for Ariana. I just think that she was telling the story. And what do you call it? I think that people, took it upon themselves to say whatever the hell they said on social media because that's the way people are. But Ariana then responded to her, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and what do you call it? Was like she said that what was it that she had some kind of like what do you call it? Some
A
kind of
panic attack.
anxiety. Yeah.
Yes, but let me. I am going to step in and defend Ariana for a minute.
Okay.
One thing, I do see that it says that she asked for the tickets for the 20 of them, and I do see that Elvira did do autographs. It doesn't say that she asked for autographs and pictures. It just says that she ended up doing them. So I'm not sure if that was a request or if she just did that because she was like, "Oh, Ariana came to the show, and so I'm going to go out and I'm going to do this thing."
She said it when she was doing when she was talking
Oh,
about
okay.
it.
So
Yeah.
the other thing is a couple of things that I come from. One, she says this was in 2017, and this was right
Mhm.
after there was an attack at one of her shows. There was
Fair
a
enough.
bombing, I believe,
I
at
remember
one
that.
of her shows, and
I
she was
remember that.
having trouble being in the public eye. Now, you know that whenever you're in the public eye, you're forced to do a lot of things. And maybe at one point she was like, "Oh, I really want to go to the show," and then the day of she was having anxiety over it or
Hmm.
scared about it. That happens. It's called PTSD. Like, it happens all the time. You also know that maybe you're excited to go do something and then you wake up and you're in a terrible fucking mood, or you have a migraine, or something happened in your personal life that you are just not feeling it. Like, yes, maybe it could be construed as rude. It also could have been a number of other things that Ariana was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I don't really remember this. I know that this was in a time in my life whenever I was going through a lot." And so, I mean, I think that we need to also remember that celebrities are people and that they have good days, they have bad days. They aren't always going to be on their A game. There's going to be, I mean, seriously, Brim, you saw me right before we started this show. I'm like,
Hmm.
if somebody from outside of us two came up to me and was like, "Hey, I would have been like, I just fucking get away from me right now, please." Just fucking leave me alone. And I'm not even a celebrity.
That yes, you are, and but that's fair enough. And at the end of the day, what do you call it? I can appreciate that, and I've been there, and I always have taken care of if I'm having a real crappy day, and somebody comes over, another name that says, "Hey, this is my so and so. Would you?" No problem, and I take pictures, I sign whatever they ask me for, and so forth. Not once have I said no. And if
Yeah,
somebody
but we
comes over
can't
and they want,
expect everybody else to do that. Just because it's the way you would
I
handle it
I can
doesn't mean that
appreciate that.
every other person will handle it that way too.
I can appreciate that. But when you are asking another celebrity for a favor, and that's a big favor, 21 tickets to a show. That's a big favor to ask. That's 21 tickets. When, look, we have to make money too. So if we're going to doing a show, and I don't know how many seats are in the arena or what's going on or how, but 20 tickets can be upwards of however much money, that's going to pay for the PR person or this or that or the next thing. Regardless, when you're doing a favor for somebody and you don't even know them, to take a quick photo, honestly, you don't say, listen, I don't do that. You might say, can we maybe do this another time? I am just really feeling not right now. And she could have embraced that moment and turned it into something that wasn't negative and turned it into a positive. And maybe
I'll
they would
also
have been able
remember
to,
her age in 2017. She was
fair
a
enough.
very young person, probably still needed a lot learning how to deal with
Sure.
anxiety and needing to mature and learn how to handle situations.
Again, I'm not, I understand all that. I completely do. I'm just, in my opinion, and again, maybe because I know Cassandra and I know how sweet she is, but the
Yeah.
fact is that's a living legend. That's an icon. She was an
Mm-hmm.
icon 7 years ago. She's an icon now. She was an icon 20 years ago. You
Totally.
know, the
100%.
the fact of the matter is she has been where she, well, maybe not the same, but in a different area. But Elvira is also known worldwide. It's not like somebody who, quote unquote, is beneath her, you know what I mean, to do a photo with. You should have the mutual respect. You've been around long enough at that point, because remember, she'd been around for at least 15 years prior, you know what I'm saying, working in
Yeah.
Disney.
Listen,
So
I'm not
she's already
saying
been through it.
I'm not saying what she did is right. I'm not saying I'm just saying that I can understand a situation in which
Mhm.
she might not have been her best self and that there's room for improvement and growth and to, give a little grace to mistakes that were made.
Fair enough. But now the one thing that really got me in the like response was the fact that she said, she went on to say, "Thank you for being so nice to my mom. She told me how lovely you were." And then in quotes, she might have different feelings about that now, but I'll talk to her. Clearly, we all have our days. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I think she was trying to make a joke out of it.
Yeah, I get
And
it. But look, again, women supporting women is a huge thing, and that should be, a plus, especially with so many men in this world in high power trying to put them down and bring women down. I think that women should be bringing each other and lifting each other up. I feel that, again, I think that the story itself didn't really bother Cassandra at all. I don't think it
mm,
bothered her. I think she was just telling a matter of fact a story. It was filmed, and then it wound up going viral because, of course, it's Ariana Grande. So
right.
and Elvira. So it's like, and the fact that, she, what do you call it, is now in the new Wicked movie. You know what I mean? And
Uh-huh.
you
Yeah.
know what I mean? It could all kind of play in the horror world. I don't know. It could have been a PR stunt. This could all be a PR stunt.
Totally.
So I haven't spoken to Cassandra in a while. Um, I have no idea, but I can tell you she is an absolute doll and a half. And again, I hope that they're able to work this out, because again, I do like Ariana Grande, as
Yeah.
problematic as she might
It
be.
also could be a matter of perspective, right? Like which
Yeah,
one person considers to be very rude might not be somebody else's same definition of something. However, I do think it sounds like this is a learning thing. She's probably learning a lesson from this interaction, hopefully. I mean, shit happens all the time, and I am the villain in many people's stories, but I'm not the villain in many people's stories. So it
no.
just really depends on boundaries, interactions, perspectives. Like it's layered, it's so nuanced.
Fair enough. Speaking about people, something you just said, it sparked me and then I lost it. It was about seeing different things.
Perspectives.
Perspectives, yeah.
Yeah.
And the perspective of somebody thought that this guy was brain dead, but then he was woken up He wakes up as his organs were about to be removed. So the perspective is that he was dead, but he really wasn't.
This
How does
is
that
a
happen?
nightmare, a
You can tell this story.
nightmare. It's
You can tell the
it's
story.
so a guy overdoses. He's declared brain dead. And I believe from some of the bits and pieces that I heard on the radio that I'm also putting together with the story that I read, um, his eyes were like flickering a little bit, and or like there were different movements that his family had noticed. And whenever
Okay.
they brought it up to the doctor was like, no, 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 that's totally normal. That happens all the time. Like that's just, muscles twitching. It's a completely normal thing. But then they get him down to the fucking operating room. Dude is not dead. They like take him off of life support and stuff like that. He is not dead. They were ready to harvest his heart.
Unreal.
And
Unreal.
I'm an organ donor, so shit is scary. And I
Unreal.
I hate shit like that because like you can't ask people to be organ donors and then accidentally murder somebody for their heart. Like that is
Oh,
a horror movie.
wow. Well, in all fairness, I think this is also in
Yeah.
Kentucky. So like guy, I'm not gonna say anything. I don't want to insult
During
anybody.
his honor walk, they noticed that he appeared to open his eyes. So his family is watching him. They're doing the honor walk into the operating room, and the family's like, "Yo, I'm pretty sure he just opened his eyes." Uh-huh.
Wow.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God.
He
That's
was
crazy.
crying on the table. He was moving and thrashing around in the bed. And then they went over there. You could see he had tears coming down. He was visibly crying.
Because he was probably aware of everything that was going on, but his body probably wasn't working yet.
Oh my
You know what I mean?
God.
Like, can you imagine? I mean, that's happened. Or they've done that in movies where you're thinking that you can move, but you can't move, and like you can physically see and hear everything that's going on around you, but
Yeah.
you can't say anything. Wow.
Oof.
Oof. All right. One
That
of the
is
fears. One of the fears.
fucking. So, see, I was right. This is a spooky episode. That shit is scary.
That shit is super freaking scary. Hell yeah. That's everybody's worst nightmare, pretty much, being
Yeah.
alive,
Uh-huh.
and knowing that someone's going to be cutting you open and taking your body parts out, like watching it, like,
A
you know,
legit nightmare. You know, when you have those nightmares where you're like trying to run and you can't run, or you're trying to
I
scream
hate
and you
that.
can't
Yeah.
scream and your whole
Yeah.
body is fucking paralyzed?
Yeah.
That happened to him for real.
It's crazy. I've never, what's funny is I've always where it's supposed to be, like the running. It's not the running that I can't run. But I seem to be like walking, like I'm going slow while doing it.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
a
It's
lot
like you have
slower than
bricks tied to
yeah.
your shoes or something and
So
you're like
weird.
trying to go. I have nightmares where I'm trying to scream and I'm like, and I just like
Oh.
can't get the voice out. I will wake up doing that, like
Mm.
choking because I'm trying to scream and can't scream. I unfortunately have a lot of nightmares.
Oh,
I do. I
day.
have them all the time since I was a little kid. I've had horrible nightmares.
Oh, day. I'm sorry. What do you call it? Well, here, I'll put
Yeah.
myself in there to help you out. I'm gonna helping you out.
You
Come
know,
in there
I
and
to
slap the taste out of some
to
people's mouths for
counter
you.
that a little bit, I also have very vivid, beautiful dreams as
Okay, well,
well.
that's good. That's good.
So sometimes whenever I close my eyes, I just try and will myself to have beautiful dreams instead of nightmares.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You know what was a nightmare?
What?
Out at SeaWorld in I believe it was San Antonio. Uh, there
Ooh.
was one of the killer whales took a
Mm-hmm.
huge pooperino and then splashed it out into the crowd.
It's whole new splash zone. Like what? The
Brown.
Yeah. Yeah, Shamu
Wow.
was like, "Fuck you, people. We shouldn't be in this enclosure. We've been fucking blackfishing this thing for a while."
Oh my God.
And yeah, Shamu took a shit. Actually, I don't think it was Shamu. Was it
I think
Shamu?
Shamu's been gone a long time. I think they kept
Well, that's.
replacing
I feel like I
Shamu.
call them all Shamu
Yeah.
because I don't
I
know.
I think that they used to all I think they used to be Shamu. Well, that was the name. They named it Shamu. And then I
Yeah.
think when Shamu died, then they kept calling the next one Shamu. And you know what I mean? I think it just
Yeah.
went on like legend,
Right.
but I don't know. Listen, the fact is the SeaWorld has so many issues. It's so problematic in so
I'm
many different
shocked that
ways.
they're still doing like the shows and stuff at SeaWorld.
Yeah, I mean, but listen, I gotta be to be completely honest, and I haven't been to SeaWorld in a long time.
Me neither.
What else is anyone going to SeaWorld for? They want to see that's all they go there for is for
Well, that's why,
know?
see, that is why SeaWorld is still able to be in business because people are still going.
Yeah.
People are still going. So they're going to keep trapping the orcas there. And like if people are still going, then SeaWorld's still making money. They're still gonna do it. You're gonna get shit on, I hope.
Here's the thing. And I'm very, very pro animal and so forth and whatever. The animals that we have to eat, that's one thing. That's food, that's to keep us alive, that's sustenance. The fur jackets I have are all faux
Right.
fur
Yeah.
jackets.
Nobody's throwing
Yeah,
paint on you for your
no,
jackets.
no. The fact is that SeaWorld, and I believe they had started out that way, and I don't know if it's still that way. But the animals that they have, the sea life that they have, most of them, like the bigger ones, are ones that had to be saved or that were born in captivity. They wouldn't survive out in the ocean at this point. So, letting them free, as much as that would be wonderful,
I don't
it
think it's
could.
so much about letting them free as it's stopping the practice altogether.
No, I
And that
understand.
way, in 20 years, it wouldn't be a thing anymore, you know?
I can appreciate that. There and again, take this where it's coming from. It's not like pro this at all. But killer whales are very, very intelligent. And what do you call it? Your dolphins, very intelligent. And that also might help keep them active because they are in a much smaller area than what they would be in the ocean. So engaging and interacting, maybe it's a positive for them. I don't listen. I don't know. We don't know what happens
It,
behind the scenes. We don't know if they get punished for things. Who knows? But from what I've heard about them, they're like big puppies. And I could be wrong. I could be very wrong. And
um,
I never said that they should be in, it's kind of like the
of
circus.
alluding to SeaWorld's doing them a favor by letting them be enclosed is a good way to go on that one either.
Oh, no, 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 no. But okay, here for a lot of zoos, wildlife foundations, they have the what do you call it? They have the animals there to conserve the animals to make sure that there are still these animals that are in the world and they're not going extinct or being hunted and killed by humans elsewhere. So, now putting them to work is a different animal altogether. Like here at the zoo, they're not necessarily putting the bigger animals like the elephant. Well, they do put elephants and camels to work. They have them walking around, walking kids around and walking people around on their backs.
Another thing that probably shouldn't be
Probably
happening.
shouldn't
Shouldn't
be
be
happening.
riding elephants. Shouldn't be.
I understand, but then on the flip side, in the wild in Africa, I mean, elephants, they're there and they work alongside humans. I don't know if you've ever seen that. Like they are very friendly with humans that are friendly with them, and they do, spend the time. I'm telling you, I've watched videos, with different tribes and so forth, and they sit and they play with them and they wash them, and and
But they're
they
free
show
still.
affection. But they
They're
are free. Agreed. Agreed. I agree
Yeah.
with that.
I
I'm
mean,
just
there's
saying,
the elephants in Thailand. Everybody goes to Thailand and wants to ride a fucking elephant. They treat them like shit there.
well, that's
Abuse the
that's a different
shit
animal.
out of them and then profit on it.
Yeah. No, I got you. The money that comes in to a place like the Bronx Zoo or San Diego Zoo and so forth goes to preserving the animals that are there though. So if they can make an extra however much to bring in to help care for all those animals, you know what I mean? Are they putting them to work for their own gain or for the
Well, I
preservation
think
of the animals? You see what
zoos
I'm
and
saying?
SeaWorld are a little different.
I am just being. I'm just. it's a conversation. What do you call it?
Yeah.
I'm not taking the side of them whatsoever. I think that SeaWorld should have been gone a long time ago. But that being said, like I don't know the inner workings of it. I just know that so many people think that having the killer whales in there, the dolphins in there,
Well, I just like to
sharks
see
in
a little
there.
bit of that karma that the fucking whales shit in the water,
Well,
and then
that's funny.
people, he splashes them with the shit water, and people said that it smelled so bad that people were like gagging as they were trying to get. They were just covered in shit.
That's hilarious.
And you can't wash that shit off right away. It's like, what are you gonna do? You have to ride home covered in shit.
It's so crazy. And the thing is that, it was just doing its job. I don't think it
Just doing what
intentionally,
it was trained to do.
I don't think that it was intentionally trolling the audience.
Oh, it just
I
had
think
to
it
clean
just
the
had to poop.
bathroom.
Yeah, it just had to
Yeah.
poop, and just
It
so happened that
happens.
it was
It's an
it was-
animal.
it was
Yeah.
right when they would go to take the
Oh my
splash zone.
God. Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Covered
Anyway,
in
listen,
shit.
whatever you guys think about animals in oh my God, in
Captivity.
captivity and so forth, such as, SeaWorld or in zoos, please let us know on social media. We'd love to hear your side of things, and maybe we'll talk about it more on the show. It's good
Yeah.
to have those conversations, and to learn what everybody's thoughts are on it. I'm not saying that I agree with it. I'm not saying that I necessarily uh, disagree with it, but it depends on the reasoning. You know what I mean? It
Mhm.
depends on the
Well,
reasoning
I think
behind it.
education is key. And whenever people pull back the curtain on things and show you what's really going on, then
Like
you can
Abercrombie,
make a more educated decision.
like Abercrombie, P.
Uh-huh.
Diddy,
Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh.
all the above.
Pull
Anyway,
back the fucking curtain.
the big, the wise, the magical Oz. What do you call it? So listen, or you just get splashed with orca poop. So either way,
Yes.
it's something. That's about all the time we have this week, guys. We greatly appreciate you, following us and listening every single week. Continue to rate, review, subscribe. We love you. Dana, you want to give them the one rule of the Dirty Little Secrets Club?
Yes, guys, the first rule of the Dirty Little Secrets Club is to tell everyone about the Dirty Little Secrets Club.
We'll see you guys again, God willing, next week.
Follow me. Promised land. You think we want something from you? You got another thing coming.